The second thing is bicycling issues. We talked about that earlier. There's bad behavior on both sides.
Right.
And we need to share the road.
We do.
Bicyclists should be riding single file at the right-hand edge of the roadway or in the bicycle lane. And motorists should give them plenty of room and slow down when they're going to pass a bicyclist.
Right.
And then the third issue is extreme speeding in the switchbacks by cars and motorcycles.
That's also a problem. Okay, all right.
This is just an example of some speeding that I've seen recently in the city. This is 3 weeks ago on Western Avenue. He was going 75 miles per hour in his car in a 35 zone just before Avenida Prenda.
Wow, that's just too fast. That's crazy.
That's almost reckless driving, yes.
Okay.
This is just an example of a cyclist on PV Drive East heading northbound at Sunnyside Ridge Road. This is downhill. And the speed limit there is 30, and most bicyclists, serious bicyclists, will be going 30 to 33 or a little more.
Wow.
And cars should not try to pass them here.
Okay.
But frequently they do. They want to honk at them, and the cars want to go 45 or 50. They shouldn't try to pass the bicyclists. We need to share the road. And also a bicyclist doesn't have to stay to the right-hand edge of the roadway if they're going the speed of traffic.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah. Which to me would mean the speed limit.
The speed limit, yes, for all of us.
Basically.
Okay.
This is what we talked about earlier. The vehicle code said that bicyclists should ride single file at the right-hand edge of the roadway unless they're avoiding debris, passing a car or a bicycle, or setting up a left turn.
Okay.
For instance, on PV Drive South, when bicycles are heading eastbound and they're approaching PV Drive East, they can move out of the bicycle lane to set up that left turn safely.
Correct.
And cars should give them plenty of room and let them do that.
Okay.
This is a group called the Donut Ride on Saturday mornings. It comes in about 8:30 to 9 o'clock, and they ride on PV Drive West, PV Drive South, and then going up PV Drive East. They take a break at Marymount College, and then they continue on northbound on PV Drive East. The problem is with this group is that they insist on riding in a peloton, a group like the Tour de France, and they won't share the road with cars. So it's an ongoing thing. I've been working with this group. I've met with them where they start in Redondo Beach and repeatedly asked them to share the road and move to the right side, right edge of the roadway and let cars pass. And they won't do it unless I'm directly behind them. And just a note for viewers that this white line on the edge of the roadway is not a bicycle lane in this area. It's just a white line that's painted by the city to denote the edge of the roadway.
Okay.
And bike lanes, when they are there, would look like that, but they'd also be posted with signs saying no parking bicycle lane.
All right.
And it would be painted on the street at every major intersection, a logo for a bicyclist.
That would also be an area that you would not want to pull over to park. Is that correct? There's not parking there.
No, this is posted, no parking.
Okay. All right.
This is the same thing, heading eastbound on PV Drive South, approaching Ocean Trails Drive.
Okay.
We can go to the next slide.
Yep, all right.
Thank you.
No problem.
This is the same thing, the same group, and you can see there's a designated bicycle lane there.
Right.
It's painted on the street. All those riders should be in the bicycle lane and allow the cars to pass, but they're not doing it.
Okay, so something that we have to continue to work on with them.
Something I'm working on.
Yep.
Now this is a photo for the motorists. This is where they're moving out of the bicycle lane and setting up a left turn to go northbound on PV Drive East.
Okay.
Motorists in this situation should let them move out and do that. This is not illegal. This is legal. They're supposed to do that.
They're supposed to put their arm out and kind of
They should
warn
signal.
people? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And they should do that safely, but motorists should give them a break and let them move out.
Okay.
This is the same thing, the same group. They're heading northbound on PV Drive East from PV Drive South, going into the switchbacks. And the bicyclists in the foreground are doing fine. They're staying over to the right-hand edge of the roadway. But you can see there's a large group at the front that's not. There's a large peloton there. And they need to ride single file and share the road. These are some photos I took just to show that there's enough room on the road. We can share the road. This is eastbound on PV Drive South in the slide area.
Okay.
And again, this is not a bicycle lane. That bicyclist does not have to be inside that white lined area. They're choosing to be in this case, but they could be outside that. But bicyclists should be to the right as much as reasonably possible. And also cars should slow down. Whenever I'm passing a bicycle, I don't go the speed limit. I slow down.
Okay.
Just so there's no mistake.
Right.
And so we can safely pass each other.
Yeah, exactly.
Same thing. This is eastbound on PV Drive South approaching Ocean Trails. Plenty of room there, as long as everybody shares. And this is the same thing again, just east of Ocean Trails. There's a designated bicycle lane. It's 7 feet wide, and the car lane is 10 feet wide, sharing the road. This is an example of somebody parking in a bicycle lane to make a cell call or receive a cell call. And I see it every day on PV Drive South and on Hawthorne Boulevard. if you're getting a cell call and you need to take it, you should pull over someplace where it's legal to park.
Right,
And
exactly.
this is on eastbound Peavy Drive South at Sea Cove. They could have pulled over and parked on Sea Cove, which would have been legal, but they didn't. They parked in the bicycle lane. You can see there's a sign right there that says no parking anytime.
Yeah.
So please, if you're taking a cell call, pull off the road where it's safe.
I think people think those signs don't apply to them, but they obviously do. So,
You're right.
Yeah.
This is a young man I sighted 2 weeks ago on Hawthorne at Vallon, heading downhill towards City Hall. And I stopped him in the City Hall parking lot. He was going 85 miles per hour.
Wow.
I was going 45, and the speed limit is 45. And yeah, that's right at the edge of reckless driving there.
Yeah, that
so
definitely.
very unsafe. And he was a repeat customer, someone I've cited before. This is a young man in the switchbacks on a motorcycle on a Sunday. We have a problem on Sundays with motorcycle groups that come out here and they want to race in the switchbacks.
Right.
Again, they're drawn by the irresistibly to the challenging curves.
Yep, absolutely.
And they want to go as fast as possible and lean their motorcycles all the way over in the hairpin curves. So this man was going 62 in a 40 zone, trying to catch up with the rest of his club members.
Wow.
So he got a regular ticket, not a reckless driving.
Okay.
What we do is education plus enforcement, like today is education.
Absolutely.
And this is me stopping to talk to a group of motorcyclists that are stopped in the switchbacks at the upper turnout. And I'm just stopping to chat with them, and I tell them the same thing I tell everyone. Everyone's welcome out here in the switchbacks, but we shouldn't be speeding or racing or doing stunts on our motorcycles. And
Are people friendly and open to that when you approach them?
people are receptive to that message, but frequently I think they nod, and then when they think I'm not there, they go ahead and do it anyway.
Yeah,
so
okay.
I'm still working on that.
But you're always there, so just remember that.
Right. This was on July 1st. I went to Bike Night. It's a gathering of 300 motorcyclists at the Starbucks at 120th and Crenshaw in Hawthorne.
Wow.
And it's on Wednesday nights, and they have them all over the country, bike nights.
Mm-hmm,
and
sure.
there are two kinds of motorcycles. There are what are called sport bikes. Those are the Japanese-style motorcycles. And then there are Harley types,
Right,
cruisers. Yeah. The biggest problem is the sport bikes, because they usually want to go fast.
Okay.
And so this is education. I went out there to talk to them and asked them if they come to our area, please don't speed or race.
Very good.
And a week later, I met with a group, the West Coast Presidents Association. It's an association of presidents of motorcycle clubs.
Wow.
And they promote safe riding. And so I talked to them. They were very receptive to the message, and I showed them some of these same photos. And so we're doing education plus enforcement.
It's good. It's important.
Yeah. This is a young man who crashed his motorcycle on June 28th at Peavy Drive East and Vista Del Mar. Right across the street from where we had the fatal crash on May 23rd.
Right.
He was going way too fast. He was with the Kamikaze Motorcycle Club from Long Beach. And he was going so fast he couldn't stay on his side of the road, and he did a head-on sideswipe traffic collision into a lady that was heading up the street.
Oh.
And he went to the hospital, but he was okay. He was very lucky.
Well, that's the reality, though, is people getting injured because of the excessive speeding. So
Exactly. That's what we were talking
hurting
about
somebody
earlier.
else. Yep.
This is his motorcycle getting towed away.
Not a good sign.
No. Also, this was on July 5th. I arrested 2 men for reckless driving. They were racing in the switchbacks. They were riding abreast of each other, coming up that lower dogleg in the 40 zone. They're from the Assassin Motorcycle Club of Orange County. Their 2 motorcycles were impounded for 30 days. And they were both arrested for reckless driving and racing.
Wow.
And the law in California allows us to impound cars or motorcycles for reckless driving. And there's the 79 that's on my radar.
Wow. And how much does it cost for someone to get a bike out of impound?
A motorcycle for a 30-day impound might be close to $1,000. A car
something.
might be something like $1,500.
Great to know, because it's
So.
another, you know.
It's an enforcement tool.
Yeah, absolutely.